When I was walking around the Cleveland Art Museum, right away this painting stood out to me. It wasn't your modern-day painting of Jesus. The painting is called Head of Christ by George Renault. It is an up-close painting of Jesus' head. When I was really examining it, I wondered why the artist chose to create such a modern depiction of Christ. Usually the photos and paintings we see of him are more toned down with neutral colors that blend in, not bright, flashy colors. I also wondered why the artist didn't include the usual symbols in his artwork, like a cross or the crown of thorns. To create this piece, the artist used a very rich color with thick paint. The artist used light blue paint to cast what looks like a halo around his head to show that he is holy. Just like other pictures of Jesus, the artist makes his nose very long and narrow. There is also red paint on his head, which can be a symbol of blood from the crown of thorns. This artist was very clever in his ways of showing people what Jesus looked like to him. By looking at this painting, we see a deep meaning, a meaning of purpose to live our life the way Jesus did.
When I arrived to the Hindu area, the first sculpture that caught my eye was the elephant god. Wondering why he had so many arms, what weapons was he holding, and what this would mean to the people today. Learning that all of these weren't weapons, but in most of his arms, these were tools. These tools were to help people through different obstacles, weapons to show force, and academic purposes. But you can also see the sweeter side of him with dessert balls stuffed in his mouth. You can usually spot him at the head of the parade. Usually you can see him as a bronze sculpture, so you can preserve him through the time, because usually he is prayed to the most often.
When I was walking through the Cleveland Museum of Art, the piece called Siddhartha at the Bodhi Tree stood out to me. This is because I immediately recognized the scene from our studies of the Buddhist religion. This piece depicts Mara and all his temptations, including his daughters, attempting to lead Buddha away from his goal of nirvana. Villagers surround Buddha because at the time he was still a prince. This scene is what ultimately formed the Buddhist religion. The entire piece has a neutral color and a simple background. After looking at this piece, I wondered what Buddha is portrayed to be looking at and if it has any significance. I also wondered why Mara's daughters are not facing Buddha. This piece shows how Buddha reached nirvana, the goal of all Buddhists, and it shows how Mara will tempt you throughout your life, but you must work to overcome it as Buddha did.
The mihrab is the focal point in the interior of the mosque which all Muslims face towards during prayer. The niche is located on the Qibla wall, which is facing towards Mecca, the holy city of Islam. When facing the wall, the prayers are meant to be sent to the niche, which is a direct line to God. The design of the niche also is meant to draw in your prayers as the arches get smaller, making a tunnel to the Prophet. The niche is made up of tiles, which are contrasted in colors such as variations of yellows and blues to represent God in the heavens and the earth. Translation of the scripture around the border of the mihrab entails, God is the light of the heavens and the earth. His light is like a niche in which is a lamp, the lamp enclosed in glass, the glass, as it were, a glistening star. From a blessed tree it is lighted, the olive neither of the east nor of the west, whose oil would well nigh shine out, even though fire touched it not. It is light upon light. God guideth whom he will to his light, and God setteth forth parables to men, for God knoweth.
No matter what the religion is or who believes in it, art allows every person to feel connected to whomever or whatever they believe in. It allows people to be able to communicate and react to things and help gain a better understanding as to what the other religions are. And because of that, it helps people to respect other beliefs and have that knowledge in the back of their head as to why people practice the things they do, even if it's not the same as ours. Each of us studied a different religion based off of different beliefs, yet the common thread between all four of these religions is protection. Whether we believe in one God or hundreds of them, We know that being strong, faithful believers will always keep us protected, and that our higher being will guide us and lead us in the right direction always.